appreciate y'all accomplishing things that I myself am not accomplishing here, so that's all good. But no, we've been through 12 weeks of this session, and really, God would have it just so that when we came to the end of the session, not only could we rock climb, but we could hear from an actual American Ninja Warrior. So, on that bone that's recording right now, there's a picture of him competing at Miami. He's going to tell you a little bit about that, and then he's also going to give you a little bit of direction in some other areas. So,
all right. And what was your name? Steven. This is Steven. All right. And where are we all from?
I'm Denzel.
Denzel. William. We'll catch up. Andrew. Dylan. Daniel. Levi. Eric. All right. William. Good to meet you again. All right. Yeah. So last year I was a walk-on on American Ninja Warrior. One of my main goals in life was to go to Japan and compete in American Ninja Warrior, Sasuke. So I found out, they brought it over here. So I was like, all right, it's in our backyard now, And I had missed the last couple years, and this year, last year I told myself I'm going to send in a video this year. This is going to be the year. And I sent in the video, and it wasn't, I guess, flashy enough, so I didn't get picked. But you have a chance of competing on the show by being a walk-on. Now you're not guaranteed a spot, but it's better than just staying at home. So I took off work, and I flew out there, got a hotel, got there on Friday night, waited in line from Friday night till Sunday to run. And this is no sleep, and all right, nervous. All right, but as I was sitting in the warm-up area, I was sitting next to, you had Drew Dressel. I don't know if y'all are familiar with the name Drew Dressel. God, I'm drawing blanks. Flip Rodriguez, David Rodriguez. They're one of the two major competitors from Miami Regionals. And I'm sitting next to all these trainers, professionals. These guys have done it for years. You have Olympic athletes, you have professional, athletes. I'm sitting there like in the warm-up area. I'm just a walk-on. Like, who am I? Nobody, right? And this is somewhere like 3, 4 in the morning. And I say to myself, I don't have any gold medals. I don't. This isn't my profession. I know what I'm capable of, and just because they didn't pick me doesn't mean that I'm not good enough, that I'm not going to be a competitor. So one of the main things that you have to get in your head is it's a mental game. If I would have convinced myself like they didn't pick me because I'm not good enough, and then ended it there, that would have been the end of it. I would have never gone out there. But I said, you know what? I can do this. I know what I'm capable of. And I came here to compete and show y'all what I can do. I came to prove them wrong, that they should have picked me. And lo and behold, I ran at 5:30 in the morning, made it fast enough to get into the semifinals. So I made it on to the semifinals to the next day. And yeah, it's like I said, it's the mental part. You have to prove to yourself, or prove to them that you are good enough. Even though they don't believe, they don't have faith in you. You have faith in yourself, your skills, and what you can do.
Good. So let me ask you something. So you said you got to prove to them, of course. There's a level of expectation that they have for each performer.
Prove them wrong.
Prove them wrong. Yeah, sure. But you started with a level of confidence. Where did that confidence come from?
Well, I have been very active since my childhood, running around, playing tag, jumping over fences with my friends. It was a group of kids in the neighborhood, and we would play, I guess, Freddy or tag or whatever, and you're running across yards. You're jumping off of buildings. And this is before parkour became big. We're jumping off the roofs and whatnot. And yeah, this was like 15, 20 years ago. And that's another thing. I was 32 at the time, and it's just like they got all these young kids. They're 22, 25, and I'm like, what's this old guy doing here? Lo and behold, I made it to the semifinals.
So you had pretty much a lifelong experience. So it wasn't something that just happened overnight.
Yeah, nothing happens overnight.
You developed that proficency in the movements and the exercise and the strengthening and the balance and all that over half of a lifetime.
Exactly. I did a lot of calisthenics. Never was too fond of going to the gym because you're limited in motion on what you can do. But when you're at some place like this, you have more freedom. As you saw, I don't know if y'all saw, I swung from that ball to the nunchucks.
Yeah.
You can't do that at a conventional gym. So there's lots of movements that you can do, so you don't have to go to the gym.
So if you were to say there was something else that you found to be of value regarding training, besides having access to a certain facility, like this is a nice facility, so we don't have access to this facility in Gulfport, how would you encourage these guys to make the best of their time?
Be creative. Creative as possible. I actually have one of the pull-up bars that you have at home. Right now, I just got over an injury that happened in August, and I couldn't train for almost September, October, November, 7 months. And when you're used to training, and that's all you can think about, not being able to train, you'll realize how much you need that in your life to be a part of it. But I actually have it's about a 3-inch thick rope, and I'll tie it around, and I'll do pull-ups on that. I'm working on one-arm pull-ups now that I'm able to use my arm again. If using your own body weight, you don't have to have a lot of equipment. You just have to be creative, and that's like the biggest thing that I've been able to do. Squat jumps. If you want to do it with weights, you can do that. There's a lot of things you can do with your own body. So that's my biggest, I guess, takeaway. As far as training goes, your body is an amazing machine. Use it.
I have one more question. If you were to suggest regarding focus, okay? Did you do a lot of your training? Did you do a lot of your training independently, or do you find yourself working with somebody in order to benefit your training?
Okay, it works both ways. It's a little bit harder when you're by yourself to push yourself. When you have somebody next to you, you actually have a form of competition. I actually did it with one of my friends. He goes to the gym and works out. He's a bigger guy, but when I'm next to him, it motivates him more to, I guess, do an extra rep, do an extra set of a certain exercise. Because I'm there. And of course, I can't lift 300 pounds like he can, but I can outwork him simply on the fact that I can, I guess, do more. And it's like if I can do 100 push-ups, he's gonna try to do at least a amount that's close to 100. So it's just like it gives him that extra drive. Like, okay, he can do 100. I'm bigger, I'm badder. So it's like it's a friendly competition, but it's like you don't have to do 100 push-ups. Just do what you can.
You also told me when we spoke earlier that you linked up with some of these guys,
Yes.
legends in the industry, to really get some training from somebody that could help you take it to the next level. So you, in my understanding of what you told me, you place a significant value on people.
Correct. You want to surround yourself with like-minded people. The people that you keep closest to, you become. So if you want to hang around with losers, you're gonna go on that end. You're gonna go that route. If you hang around with winners, champions, people that have goals, dreams, and they're going for it, you see the difference. It's night and day difference. Like if you want to be good, hang around with people that's gonna make you better. You don't want somebody that's like, oh, you can't do 100 push-ups. You don't want to hear that all the time, right? You want to hear, hey, good job. Hey, do it again. Hey, you're this close. Hey, go. You only got 5 left. You want to hear that motivation, right? You don't want to hear somebody bringing you down. Would you rather race us with somebody on your back, or would you race us with nobody on your back and we just going? Right?
You don't want to be held up by dead weight. You want people
dead weight, negativity. There's a lot of it, and you can just do your best to surround yourself with positive, like-minded people.
Last question. Regarding life and priorities, obviously a lot of professional athletes, all they know is that specific sport. But at the same time, we also understand that life doesn't necessarily allow us to pursue our greatest passion. If you were to prioritize your life, and obviously we know you've invested a lot in your American Ninja Warrior training, period, just living this lifestyle.
Yes.
How would you say you prioritize this in regards to other parts of your life?
All right. Well, before I worked 2 jobs, it's when you're passionate and you love something so much, you'll find time for it. There was one point I would get home, work out at midnight, and end at 2 o'clock. When I drove last year before the competition, I drove 8 hours to go train with Drew Dressel for 3 hours. So I left. It was like 12 o'clock. Got there at 8, trained till 11, and helped him, you know, clean up the gym. And because I wanted that. I wanted that training. I wanted to be there in the environment with somebody that's like-minded. You know, there's a mentality that I go by. It's called hyper diet, and it's all or nothing. If you're gonna show up 100%. You know, if you're gonna do your best, do your best. You do as much as you can. That's pretty much the basis of it. You know, swing for the fences. Awesome. So, yeah.
Okay. I really appreciate all that info, man. That's great, man.
Absolutely. No, that's my pleasure. Again, gentlemen, good luck on your training. Hopefully, I'll see y'all training for the American Ninja Warrior one day, all right? See, I'll come visit y'all. Everybody's from Mississippi?
Oh, yeah. From the same church, and so we're all actually from the same area. We get to spend a lot of time together, so we develop some great relationships, and that's one of the things that we stress a lot is community, whatever it is that we're doing, whether you're doing this thing or I'm doing this thing. You know, God's called us all to a certain thing in each of our lives, and we believe, one, the church, we all are involved in the church on another level, and then two, whatever it is that we're passionate about, training physically, increasing our human performance, etc. God's given us these bodies, the gifts, and we want to do the best that we can with them. So we spend a lot of time talking about these things. And it's just real cool. So we're having a great time. It's a blessing and honor to meet you, man.
No, it's my pleasure. Like I said, like just you wanna become that great person. You got to be that great person. So you know, stay positive as much as you can. You know, spread the positivity as much as you can. You know, it's like just me. This is my pleasure. This is a great thing for me to talk to y'all. You know, this is my reward for being able to talk to y'all. You know, yes, I have some experience, but I'd like to see y'all do better than me. You know, my time will be coming up shortly. You know, I won't be able to compete anymore, and y'all will be behind me. You'll be like, oh, I remember, you know, 5 years ago I was talking with this guy. We got to be 21, so we're not close to 21, right?
Actually, we're 13 to 18.
18?
Yeah.
You got 3 years then. 3 years from now, you're going to be like, oh, I remember 3 years ago, I talked to this kid, blah, 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 he's old man, you know, he was at a rock climbing gym. You remember this, hopefully.
Maybe. This old man here looks so old. That actually was in pretty good shape.
Like, man.
Really good shape.
I know. But, yeah, no, but thank you. It was my pleasure.
Awesome. All right, guys.
Anybody have a question for me? Training, anything?
Somebody has a question.
What makes you enjoy like working out so much? Why is it like good?
That's a good question. Why do I enjoy working out so much? One, it feels great. If you ever heard of a runner's high?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a natural. I have a lot of energy. One of my passions is dancing. I go places, and this has been for a good 14 years now. And any of my lifelong friends, if you ask them, we would go to parties, and I would dance all night, and people would come up to me and say, "What did you take? You know, what do you want? Energy drinks or something?" I'm like, "No, this is all natural. Like this is when you have a passion for something. You know, it's just time flies by when you're having fun, right? You don't even think about it. It's the same thing when you're being physically active. You're pushing your body. You know, you meet that goal. Like, oh, I want to do 20 pull-ups, or I want to do 10 pull-ups. You know, and you finally get to that 10. You're just like, oh my God, you know, it's a great accomplishment. It's a great feeling to have that, and that's what you strive for every single time. So, and you just have to stay persistent because it takes 10 years to become an overnight sensation.
Yeah.
So, anyone else? Question? I know I'm boring some of y'all. Any questions? Anything? No? No questions?
No.
All right. Well, again, it was my pleasure, y'all.
Thanks.
Cut it.